What is strength? Is it the sculpted muscle of a perfect statue, a monument to divine potential? Or is it the raw, explosive fury that can topple an empire with one final, desperate push? For thousands of years, when humanity has sought an archetype for ultimate power, two names have thundered above all others. From the sun-baked hills of ancient Greece, a legend born of divine lust and cosmic tragedy, the son of Zeus, the demigod who strangled serpents in his crib, battled mythical beasts, and held the entire sky on his shoulders, Hercules. And from the sacred texts of the ancient Levant, a champion anointed before his birth, a miracle child, a walking catastrophe, a blunt instrument of God's will, who tore lions apart with his bare hands and slaughtered an entire army with the jawbone of an ass, Samson. They are the original supermen, the ultimate strongmen from two cultures that defined the Western world. Hercules, the hero of the Greeks, and Samson, the champion of the Hebrews. They never met. They walked the earth in different stories, in different realities. But in the arena of the human imagination, they have always been rivals. Today, that rivalry becomes real. We're stripping away the myth, analyzing the data, and staging the ultimate hypothetical battle. In a one-on-one fight with no rules and no masters, who would be left standing? Welcome to the Battle of the Titans. This is Samson versus Hercules.
Before the first punch is thrown, let's meet our fighters. This isn't just a contest of muscle, it's a clash of divine philosophies, origins, and destinies. In the blue corner, representing the Greek pantheon, we have the demigod, Hercules. His origin story is a scandal of cosmic proportions. He is the illegitimate son of Zeus, king of the gods, and Alcmene, a mortal queen. He was a demigod from his first breath, inheriting the divine power of the chief Olympian. But this divine blood was also his curse. His very existence was an insult to Hera, queen of the gods, and her jealousy would define his entire life. She sent two serpents to kill him in his crib. The infant Hercules simply strangled them, one in each hand. His life was not one of choice, but of tragedy. Driven mad by Hera, he murdered his own wife and children. His legendary 12 labors were not a quest for glory. They were an act of penance, a desperate, impossible journey to atone for an unforgivable sin. Hercules is a brooding, tragic hero. He is a trained warrior, a veteran of countless impossible quests. He is a problem solver, a strategist, and a master of both armed and unarmed combat. He is fueled by guilt and a deep, weary understanding of his own monstrous potential. He doesn't just fight monsters, he fights the monster inside himself. And in the red corner, the champion of the Hebrews, the final judge of Israel, Samson. Samson's origin is not a scandal, it's a miracle. He was the long-awaited son of a barren woman, his birth announced by an angel of the Lord. He was chosen before conception for a single divine purpose. He shall begin to deliver Israel out of the hand of the Philistines. He was not a demigod, he was 100% human, but he was set apart. He was made a Nazirite from birth, a sacred vow that forbade him from drinking wine, touching the dead, or cutting his hair. He was meant to be a holy warrior, a vessel for God's power. If Hercules is a tragic warrior, Samson is a high school jock with a superpower he doesn't understand. He is not a strategist, he is a brawler. He is not driven by guilt, he is driven by impulse, lust, and explosive rage. He is arrogant, overconfident, and consistently underestimates his enemies, especially when a beautiful woman is involved. He doesn't go looking for quests, he starts fights. He is God's anointed champion, and he acts like a spoiled, indestructible teenager. So there you have it, the trained, guilt-ridden demigod versus the arrogant, impulsive holy warrior. Their motivations couldn't be more different. But what about their power?
This is the single most important factor in this fight, and it's where our combatants diverge completely. Where does the power come from? Hercules' strength is inherent, it's in his DNA. As the son of Zeus, his power is a fundamental part of his being. It cannot be taken away. It is always on, whether he is sober or drunk, faithful or faithless. His divine heritage gives him a consistent, reliable, superhuman baseline. His stamina is legendary. His durability is godlike. His strength is his, a burden he must carry.
Samson's strength is external. It is a gift, a divine download. The text of the Book of Judges is explicit about this. Over and over, it says, "Then the Spirit of the Lord came mightily upon him." This is a critical distinction. Samson is a normal man until the Spirit activates his power. His strength isn't his own, it's borrowed, and it is conditional. It is tied directly to his Nazirite vow. As long as he upholds the vow, God grants him this power. The moment the vow is broken, symbolized by the cutting of his hair, the connection is severed. The power doesn't fade, it vanishes. In a one-on-one fight, this is a terrifying liability. Hercules will always be a demigod. Samson is only a Superman sometimes. If Hercules can survive the initial divine surge, Samson may just be a man.
Power is nothing without proof. Both men have resumes that would make a god blush. Let's compare their greatest hits. Samson's feats are acts of raw, impulsive violence. His warm-up? He's walking to his wedding and a young lion attacks him. The text says, "The Spirit of the Lord came mightily upon him, and he tore the lion apart as one would have torn a young goat, and he had nothing in his hand." No weapons, no strategy, just rage and divine power. But his most legendary feat? After being betrayed by his wife, Samson is cornered by the Philistine army. They bind him with new ropes, he breaks them like thread. He finds the first weapon he can, the fresh jawbone of a donkey, and for hours he wades into an army of trained soldiers. When the dust settles, 1,000 men are dead at his feet. This is a feat of stamina, rage, and brutal efficiency that is almost unmatched in ancient literature. And let's not forget his pure, static strength. He is trapped in the enemy city of Gaza. To escape, he doesn't pick the lock. He walks to the city gate, tears the entire structure, 2 massive posts, the bar, and the doors out of the wall, puts it on his shoulders, and carries it for miles to the top of a hill. This isn't just fighting. This is a superhuman display of power that defies physics.
If Samson's feats are impulsive, Hercules' are epic quests. His 12 labors are a masterclass in monster hunting, endurance, and cosmological power. Like Samson, he also killed a lion, the Nemean lion, but this lion's hide was impervious to all weapons. Hercules had to rustle it, using his superior technique, and finally strangle it to death. He then wore its skin as armor. He battled the 9-headed Hydra, a regenerating monster.
He captured the Erymanthian boar and the Seranian hind. He diverted 2 rivers to clean the Augean stables in a single day, a feat of engineering as much as strength. But his greatest feats are in a category Samson never touched. First, he journeyed to the underworld and back, a place Samson only saw after death. And he dragged out its guardian, the 3-headed dog Cerberus. He literally brawled with the forces of hell and won. And then, his most profound feat. To get the golden apples of the Hesperides, he had to briefly take over the job of the Titan, Atlas. His task? To hold up the entire celestial sphere, the sky, the cosmos. Let's be clear, Samson carried a city gate. Hercules held the heavens. Samson's feats are grounded, however wildly exaggerated. He kills men, he kills animals, he breaks things. Hercules' feats are cosmological. He interacts with gods, titans, and the fundamental structure of the universe. When comparing their resumes, Samson is a regional champion. Hercules is a world beater.
A true warrior is more than his strength. He's his skill. How do they fight? Hercules is a master of Pankration, the ancient Greek martial art that combined boxing, wrestling, and brutal, no-holds-barred striking. He is a technical fighter. He knows grappling, joint locks, and throws. He also has a standard, professional loadout. Weapon 1, a massive, gnarled olive wood club. Simple, brutal, and effective. Weapon 2, the Hydra poisoned bow. His arrows were dipped in the Hydra's venom, a poison so potent it could kill immortals. This makes him a deadly long-range threat. Armor, the Nemean lion skin, impenetrable to bronze, iron, and stone. It gives him a defensive advantage that Samson simply does not have. Hercules is a complete warrior. He has defense, he has a close-range weapon, he has a long-range weapon, and he has the formal training to use them all.
Samson has no formal training. He is a brawler, a berserker. He relies on overwhelming strength and blind fury. His arsenal is whatever is lying around. Weapon 1, his bare hands, used on the lion. Weapon 2, the jawbone of an ass, used on 1,000 Philistines. Weapon 3, 300 foxes and torches, used to burn the Philistine fields. Samson's arsenal is one of pure, desperate improvisation. He doesn't plan, he reacts. He has no armor, no shield. He likely believes he doesn't need one. He wades into battle relying on his divine gift to see him through. In a tactical fight, this is a mismatch. Samson is a street fighter. Hercules is a special forces soldier. Hercules has armor, Samson doesn't. Hercules has a plan, Samson has a temper. Samson's only path to victory is to get his hands on Hercules and end the fight before the demigod's skill can overcome his rage.
No hero is invincible, and the flaws of these two men are as legendary as their strength. This is their path to defeat. Hercules' greatest weakness is internal. It's his mind. He is vulnerable to madness, grief, and uncontrollable rage. His entire life was defined by the curse of Hera, which drove him to kill his family. This psychological scar never healed. He is a man perpetually at war with his own emotions. In a fight, a skilled opponent could taunt him, enrage him, and lure him into a reckless blind fury. Furthermore, he is not invincible. He can be wounded. He can be poisoned. In fact, his death was one of the most agonizing in all of mythology. Tricked by his new wife, Deianira, into wearing a shirt soaked in the poisoned blood of a centaur, which burned his skin from his bones. His weakness is his own tragic, human, emotional heart.
Samson's weakness is external, and it is devastatingly specific. His power, as we discussed, is conditional. It is tied to his Nazirite vow, symbolized by his unshorn hair. If you can cut his hair, the power is gone. Instantly. The Spirit of the Lord departs, and he is left, in the Bible's own words, as weak as any other man. And his psychological flaw is what exposes this weakness. He is fatally arrogant and has a crippling weakness for women who betray him. He was betrayed by his Timnite wife, and then, in the most famous betrayal of all, by Delilah. She asked him the secret of his strength. He lied to her 3 times. Each time, she tied him up, shouted, "The Philistines are upon you," and he broke the bonds. He knew she was trying to trap him. He knew she was working for the enemy. And yet, after she nagged him and cried, the text says his soul was vexed to death. He was so annoyed that he just told her. It's a flaw so reckless, so profoundly stupid, that it borders on comedy. Hercules was brought down by a tragic misunderstanding. Samson was brought down because he was annoyed by his traitorous lover. He is the ultimate glass cannon, unbelievably powerful, but with a single, glaring, and easily exploited weak point.
The stage is set. The combatants are ready. The crowd of history holds its breath. There is no Delilah here. There is no Hera. Just 2 men, 1 fight. Here is how we see it play out. Round 1. The initial charge. Samson, as always, is impulsive. He sees his enemy and roars, calling on the Spirit of the Lord to fill him. He charges. He is a 300-pound missile of divine rage. He doesn't have a plan beyond total annihilation. Hercules, the veteran, plants his feet. He holds his Nemean lion skin as a shield. Samson's first blow, a punch that could shatter a city gate, connects with the impervious hide. The shockwave staggers Hercules, but the blow doesn't land. The armor holds. Hercules is shocked by the power, but he is unharmed. Round 2. The brawl. Samson, enraged, attacks with a flurry of blows. He is a brawler, swinging wild, powerful hooks. Hercules, the Pankration master, weathers the storm. He uses Samson's momentum against him, dodging, weaving, and absorbing the blows that do land with his divine durability. He is not trying to win a slugfest, he is analyzing. He realizes Samson is all offense, no defense. He's reckless. Hercules lands a counterpunch, not a wild swing, but a tight, technical blow to the ribs, a blow designed to crack bone and sap stamina. Samson grunts. He is hurt, perhaps for the first time in his life, by another man's strength. Round 3. The turning point. Stamina versus surge. The fight draws on. Samson, fueled by a surge of divine power, is looking for the knockout. He rips a boulder from the canyon wall and hurls it. Hercules smashes it with his club. But now, the critical difference comes into play. Hercules' power is inherent. His stamina is the stamina of a demigod who held the sky. Samson's power is borrowed. It's a Berserker rage mode. It cannot last forever. Hercules is built for the 12th round. Samson is built for a first-round knockout. As the minutes turn to hours, Samson's divine surge begins to wane. The Spirit of the Lord is a powerful ally, but it is not a limitless battery. Hercules, however, is just as strong as he was at the beginning. He is relentless. Round 4. The final verdict. Samson, now breathing heavy, his borrowed power fading, makes one last desperate charge. Hercules, the master wrestler, is ready. He ducks under Samson's swing, grabs him in a crushing bear hug, the same technique he used on the Nemean lion and the giant Antaeus. Samson struggles, his muscles straining, but for the first time, he is matched. He is being outmuscled. Hercules' grip is iron. He is not just strong, he is technically superior. He lifts Samson from the ground, cutting off his breath. Samson, his power surge gone, his lungs collapsing, would eventually fall unconscious. He is defeated not by a trick,
not by a blade, but by a strength that is more consistent, more trained, and more enduring than his own. Winner, Hercules.
In a purely physical one-on-one contest, the victory goes to the demigod. Hercules' power is consistent, his armor is impenetrable, and his combat training is superior. He simply has more tools, more endurance, and a cosmological resume that Samson cannot match. But this battle was never just about muscle. It's a collision of two cultures defining strength. Hercules is the ultimate Western hero. He is an individual. His strength is his own, a personal burden to be mastered. His story is one of atonement. He fights to control the chaos, both in the world and within his own soul. His tragedy is that his strength could not save him from his own emotions. Samson is the ultimate Hebrew hero. He is not an individual. He is a vessel. His strength is not his own. It is a conditional gift from God. His story is not about atonement. It's about responsibility. He was given divine power for a divine purpose, and he failed, not because his muscles were too weak, but because his character was. Samson's true story isn't his fight with a lion, it's his weakness with Delilah. His failure was moral and spiritual. And yet, in the end, Samson achieved something Hercules never did: redemption. Hercules died in agony from a poisoned shirt, a victim of a tragic mistake. Samson, blinded, shorn, and humiliated, found his purpose. In his final, defining moment, he stood between the pillars of his enemy's temple and prayed, not as a brawler, but as a humble servant. Sovereign Lord, remember me. Please, God, strengthen me just once more. His power returned, not for his own glory, but for his God's. He pulled down the temple, killing more of his enemies in his death than he had in his entire life. So, who is the strongest? Hercules wins the physical battle, but Samson's story teaches a different, perhaps more profound lesson. That true strength is not the power you possess. It's the purpose you serve, the vow you keep, and the character you build. It teaches that even after a life of failure, one final act of faith can bring the whole house down.